GOAT. Tragodia means the God song. GOAT, God song. Means in Greek, basically the concept of tragedy has been derived from Greek or Greece. What is এটি রকম everyone silent everyone. Okay everyone, so basically everyone silent everyone. So the concept of tragedy we are getting from the Greek, especially from Athens, where people used to celebrate the worship of Dionysus, or you can say Bacchus. This god is called the god of wine and fertility, and in order to, you can say, appease the god in the name of Dionysus, they used to sing a song in the name of Dithyramb, and from this Dithyramb we are getting the concept of tragedy. Understood? So Dithyramb is one kind of hymn which was staged to appease the god in the name of Dionysus or Bacchus. Okay? Now from this Dithyramb, in this ritual, the goat is, you can say, decapitated, or you can say it is one kind of, what is the meaning of body? Body dia? Scapegoated. It is called the scapegoat or scapegoated, SCAPEGOT, scapegoat to scapegoated. In this ritual, that a god is scapegoated on the stage to appease the god in the name of Dionysus. So this death, you can say, we are going to kill a goat, and this is called the Dithyramb, and from this Dithyramb we are getting the concept of tragedy. Means when we are killing someone, we are getting a cry. We have already heard the crying sound of goat, yes, and we are also especially me, I am the extreme lover of mutton, but I am doing the very much, you can, heinous work. So from this concept we are getting the concept of tragedy. But keep in mind that tragedy in Greek, this original classical tragedy and Shakespearean tragedy we are reading, both are not the same thing. Although Shakespearean tragedy, the tragedy which has been written by Shakespeare, derived from the classical tragedy, but classical tragedy and Shakespearean tragedy both are not the same thing. Okay, in classical tragedy we are getting three main dramatists, Aeschylus, Euripides and Sophocles. Okay, they are called the triumvirate of Greek tragedy, and especially tragedy derived from their work. Understood? But keep in mind that Shakespearean tragedy and classical tragedy both are not same thing. Okay, although Shakespeare has tried to imitate them, but Shakespeare has not followed all the norms of this classical tragedy. Now according to, you know that if you want to understand tragedy, you have to understand Aristotle's Poetics. Aristotle's Poetics is called the rule of tragedy. Without understanding Aristotle's Poetics, you can't understand tragedy. Okay, so all the rules regarding the tragedy has been written by Aristotle on his Poetics, which has actually, it is Poetica, okay, and which is translated into English by Ingram by Water. And from this Poetics book, Aristotle has written everything regarding tragedy. According to Aristotle, he said that tragedy is the imitation of an action that is serious, having a magnitude complete in itself. So according to Aristotle, that when you are trying to write any tragedy, you have to write this must, the definition of tragedy. Tragedy is the imitation of an action that is serious, having a magnitude complete in itself. Means tragedy is the imitation of action, means whatever you are going to get, it is already imitating the society. You have already read Macbeth, you have already read Romeo and Juliet, you have already read Othello, many dramas are there, everything is a kind of imitation of the society. That's why tragedy is the imitation of an action, and it is serious. Tragedy should be serious. Without seriousness, tragedy is not tragedy. Without gravity, without seriousness, tragedy is not tragedy. Understood? Third one is, it should have a magnitude, means you should be written with a in a bigger volume. 2 pages or 3 pages cannot be a tragedy. It needs certain amount of volume. Last one is complete in itself. Complete in itself means a tragedy should have a beginning, middle and end. Should have a proper beginning, middle and end. This is called tragedy. And while discussing about this tragedy, Aristotle said a tragedy have mainly 6 elements: plot, character, thought, diction, melody, spectacle. Plot, character, thought, diction, melody, spectacle. And according to Aristotle, that in tragedy the most important thing is plot, and there should be, the plot is of 2 types. One is, you can say, main plot and subplot, or according to Aristotle, plot is the soul of tragedy. Without plot, a tragedy is not in a proper sense. And according to Aristotle, that a tragedy is a tragedy where we are getting the main plot, and plot where we are getting 2 concepts. One is, you can say, he has written that one is peripeteia, reversal of fortune, and anagnorisis. Reversal of fortune and anagnorisis are the 2 important features of tragedy. If you don't write these 2 concepts in your note, you can't get good marks, keep in mind. So in tragedy, there should be a plot, and a perfect plot is a plot where we are getting 2 concepts. One is peripeteia and anagnorisis. Peripeteia means a kind of reversal of fortune. Reversal of fortune, and another opposite one is from ignorance to knowledge. Anagnorisis means from ignorance to knowledge. Means if you try to read Oedipus Rex by Sophocles, in this very drama, a priest told the father of Oedipus in the name of Laius that one day your son will kill you and will kill your wife. Means he will marry his own mother. Okay, now after listening this, or after knowing from the priest, Laius has tried his best to avoid the prophecy. Okay, as a result, he has thrown his son outside on the road. But eventually, the son in the name of Oedipus becomes alive, and later he comes to know that one day he will marry his own mother after killing his own father. So when he comes to know about the very fact, from the very beginning to end, he has tried his best to avoid the prophecy. That no, I should leave this place, I should go somewhere so that I can avoid the prophecy. But ultimately, he is the victim of fate. He is the victim of fate, and because of fate, unknowingly, he has married his own mother and killed his own father. This is called peripeteia. Means we are trying to do something, but actually its opposite is happening to our life. This is called peripeteia according to Aristotle. Later, at the end of the drama, he comes to know that he has married his own mother and killed his own father. This is called anagnorisis. Clear? So peripeteia and anagnorisis are the summum bonum of every plot, and without plot, tragedy is not tragedy. Clear, everyone? Secondly, we are getting the concept of tragic hero. Without having the knowledge of tragic hero, you can't write a tragedy. If you read about Macbeth is called tragic hero. And when you are trying to write anything regarding tragedy, you have to mention obviously the concept of tragic hero. So according to Aristotle, the tragic hero is a protagonist of a drama who makes some mistake, and because of this mistake, he faces his doomsday. He is called tragic hero. If you read about Macbeth was perfectly alright. He is extremely good. Okay, but because of his over ambition, he is compelled to kill Duncan, and is trying to be the king of Scotland. Understood or not? So he was extremely okay. He is extremely fine. In spite of that, only one fault is there. This is over ambition. Understood? Although Lady Macbeth plays a catalytic role in his life. Without Lady Macbeth, he can't do this. Actually, you know, the Lady Macbeth has chastised him by the valor of her tongue, that you are a male, you have no power. So in this way, Lady Macbeth has attacked the masculinity of Macbeth. As a result, in order to show his masculinity, he is compelled to kill Duncan. Okay, now we are getting the concept of tragic hero. The tragic hero is one or protagonist of a tragedy who makes some judgment error, and because of this reason he faces his doomsday, which is unavoidable. He faces his unavoidable punishment. This is called nemesis according to Aristotle. Now one thing you have done mistake, most of you have written that tragic flaw, hamartia means tragic flaw. It is wrong. Hamartia does not mean tragic flaw. It has been misinterpreted by A.C. Bradley in his famous book, The Shakespearean Tragedy. Hamartia means error of judgment. Hamartia means error of judgment, not tragic flaw or fatal flaw. Keep in mind. The concept has been misinterpreted by A.C. Bradley in his famous book, The Shakespearean Tragedy. Okay, look, if you think about Macbeth, from character point of view, he is dishonest or is bad? No, he is not bad. Rather, he, because of his some mistake, this is over ambition, he killed Duncan. So, from character point of view, every tragic hero is perfect. Oedipus also perfect. He has married his own mother, but he has married his own mother out of ignorance. Clear? So, you can say tragic flaw means one who is not perfect from character point of view. But we are getting the concept that every tragic hero is from character point of view is very much perfect. But because of high ambition or anger or any kind of thing, because of this reason, he is compelled to do any wrong. This wrong becomes the doomsday for his life. Or because of this a small mistake, he is facing his nemesis or catastrophic doom, his appalling doom, which he can't avoid. Clear, everyone? And according to Aristotle, that the main point, a tragic hero should be not perfectly good, not perfectly bad or totally bad. If the tragic hero is perfectly good, it will not create any kind of pity, rather it will shock you. He is extremely good. Why God is coming and killing him? He is extremely good. But if there is any fault within his character, it will create a kind of pity and fear within us. So according to Aristotle, the tragic hero should be a kind of intermediate kind of person. Not perfectly good, not perfectly bad. If this person can be a kind of intermediate kind of person, it will create a kind of pity and fear within us. This is called catharsis. So if you don't write catharsis in your tragedy, you will get good. You will not get good marks. Catharsis means a kind of pity and fear within us. Sometimes when you are watching any film, whenever you are watching any film, sometimes we are becoming emotional, we are becoming happy. Means whenever we are seeing that the villain has been killed by the hero, we are becoming happy. But if you see that the hero is going to be killed by the villain, we are becoming sad. This is called purgation. This is called arousing of pity and fear within us. This is called catharsis or cathartic effect. And if you don't write this catharsis in your exam, you can't get good marks. Clear, everyone? Catharsis, tragic hero, hamartia, all this, and plot, peripety, anagnosis you have to write. Now let's discuss about the classical tragedy and Shakespearean tragedy. Why lies the difference? In classical tragedy, destiny's character. Destiny's character means the character will be regulated by the fate. Fate is the ultimate thing. Human being is a mere puppet in the hands of God. He can't avoid God. He can't avoid purpose in classical tragedy. But in Shakespearean tragedy, character is destiny. Whatever Macbeth has faced because of his own mistake, there is no destiny there. He becomes so greedy. He becomes so much over ambitious. He has listened to the words of his own wife. As a result, because of high ambition, he is compelled to kill his own king in the name of Duncan. Whose fault? It is a fault of fate or it is his own fault. That's why in Shakespearean tragedy, character is destiny. You have to write this 100%. Otherwise, you can't get much in the case of tragedy. In Shakespearean tragedy, character is destiny means his fate, his future is regulated by his own character, his own karma. Okay, if you do good, you will be rewarded. If you do bad, you will be punished. Clear? Secondly, in Shakespearean tragedy, you will get many subplots. But in classical tragedy, there is only one plot is there. So first we are getting the point in Shakespeare, as you are writing a Shakespearean tragedy, you have to write that character is destiny. Means a character's life is regulated not by fate, but he is their own responsible for his own catastrophic doom. Understood or not? Secondly, we are getting in Shakespearean tragedy, we are getting many subplots. Means we are getting dagger scene, we are getting opening scene, we are getting banquet scene, we are getting lots of scenes are there. Lots of scenes are there. Sleepwalking scene, somnambulism. Okay, lots of scenes are there. Dagger scene means when Macbeth was going to kill Duncan, suddenly that dagger was, it's what a hallucination or illusion. He is watching that, probably there is a dagger who is coming towards him. This is called dagger scene. Potter scene is there. Lots of scenes are there. Potter scene, dagger scene, opening scene. Then next one is banquet scene. Then sleepwalking scene. And sleepwalking scene is the most important scene in Macbeth, where his wife, Lady Macbeth, was walking in sleep. This is called somnambulism, to walk in sleep. Understood or not? Clear? And next one is, another point is, you can say that in Shakespearean tragedy, there is no chorus. If you read about classical tragedy, there will be a chorus. Chorus means when many people sing a song. Clear? But in Shakespearean tragedy, you will not get any kind of chorus. Okay? Secondly, another important concept is three unities or Aristotelian unities. A tragedy has three unities: unity of time, unity of action, unity of place. If you don't write in your tragedy, you will not get good marks. So a perfect tragedy is a tragedy where we are getting three concepts or three unities: unity of time, unity of place, unity of action. But keep in mind, Shakespeare, unity of action, unity of time, unity of place. According to Aristotle, the tragedy should have a imitation of a single action. There should be one event will be there, not more event. Secondly, a tragedy should exist within 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
Whatever will be there within 24 hours. It will not exceed 24 hours. Thirdly, it should have a same place, same geographical place. This is called unity of place. Means if you read about Oedipus Rex, it is classical tragedy. In this Oedipus Rex, the main location is Athens. But if you read Macbeth, the action is Scotland, sometime in jungle. Many places are there. There are lots of places are there because we are not getting the same geographical places. Yes or no? That's why Shakespearean tragedy is not the typical classical tragedy. But Shakespeare has introduced some norms. For example, you can say we are getting subplots, we are getting character is destiny, we are getting the intervention of, you can say, supernaturalism. You are getting three witches. Okay, but in classical tragedy there is no invention of any kind of witches or any ghost or supernatural elements. You are getting three witches are there who are saying fair is foul, foul is fair. Okay, so it is possible in Shakespearean tragedy. Clear? So all these are the important things you have to write in your when you are going to write the tragedy, Shakespearean tragedy. Okay, don't try to mix with classical tragedy. Tragedy is of many types. Okay, but its root is from classical tragedy, but you are going to read Shakespearean tragedy. And Aristotelian tragedy is the main is, you can say, Shakespearean tragedy. Okay, because Aristotle has written about everything about that concept of tragedy, how should be tragedy, but Shakespeare has defied. Shakespeare has tried to avoid this. Okay, last one is, you can say that this is called Fractex pyramid. Fractex pyramid means in Shakespearean tragedy, this is called Fractex pyramid. In Fractex pyramid or in Shakespearean tragedy, you are getting five acts. Okay, in this five act, first one is called exposition. Then next one is called writing action. Then climax. Then culmination. Then it is called catastrophe. You have to write this catastrophe. also called denouement or denouement. Look, a tragedy has 5 vertex pyramid elements. One is exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and catastrophe. If it is drama, then denouement or denouement. And in the case of tragedy, catastrophe. Catastrophe means a kind of appalling situation, a kind of, you can say, unavoidable situation which the protagonist can't avoid. Think about the Macbeth's last scene where when death is before him, although he is a king, but he has nothing to do, he can't do anything. As a result, he is compelled to accept his appalling death, so he can't avoid death. And another element of Shakespearean tragedy is, in every Shakespearean tragedy, that you can say that tragic hero will be killed, or there will be a death scene. But in classical tragedy, there is no death scene. If you read about Macbeth, Macbeth is beheaded, killed by Macbeth. If you read about Othello, in this Othello, Desdemona has been killed by stifling by pillow. Othello was going to kill his own wife by using the pillow on her face, and before killing, he has kissed her. He has kissed her. Try to read Othello. In this Othello drama, because of jealousy, Othello killed his own wife. Before killing, he has kissed him for a long time. After kissing her for a long time, he killed her by pressing the pillow on her face. There is a death scene. If you read about Hamlet, in his Hamlet also, the death scene is there. The killing of Hamlet and Claudius, his mother, Gertrude. Okay, and also in King Lear, we have seen that how King Lear is going to be facing some problem, death, because of the miscalculation about his three daughters. So in tragedy, there should be a kind of death, in the case of Shakespearean tragedy. But in classical tragedy, you will not get any kind of death. So you have to write all these things if you want to get good marks. Okay, none of you has written the proper way. I have got in Chelsea's paper, I have checked. Only 1 or 2 points are there. But all these major points you have to write while writing about tragedy. So if you suppose another question you can get, that Macbeth is a tragic hero. Macbeth is a tragic hero. So when you are going to write about tragic hero, you have to write who is a tragic hero. He suffers from hamartia. So in this way you can write, you can make a note about tragic hero. So you should have this basic concept regarding this tragedy. What is tragedy? Plot, peripeteia and analysis, classical 3 unities. We are getting characterization, destination, character, supernatural elements, chorus, everything you have to write. If you want to get good marks, keep in mind. But most of the students are going to write a summary, but don't write. There are some proper ways while writing this tragedy part. Tragedy is very much interesting, very much numbers equaling paper. So if you apply all these things, just try to point out, you get obviously 7 out of 8 or 13 out of 50. Easily you can carry, or even better. Yes, everyone? Clear regarding? That's what try to put up all these points if you want to get good marks in tragedy form. And none of you, unfortunately, has written all these things. Oh, but in spite of that, I have tried to give you good marks. Everyone has got good marks, and two of you has got 18. Okay, let's see the second paper. I will check today who is getting highest. Two students have got 18 marks, and maximum 15, 1 14, 1 13, just like that. Okay. For this. Understood? Any question for yourself, you can ask me. Any question. And also from this Oedipus Rex, we are getting psychology, Oedipus complex. We are getting 2 concepts. One is Electra complex, one is Oedipus complex. Sometime, not maximum time, the fathers are attracted to their daughters. They are always supporting their daughters. In the case of mother was supporting their sons. In the case of mother-son relation, this is called mother-son relationship. It is called Oedipus complex in psychology according to Freud. But in the case of girl and father, this is called Electra complex. Electra complex. Clear? Clear, everyone? Oedipus complex and Electra complex. Oedipus complex because Oedipus has married his own mother. Okay. But here Electra complex means from Electra, a drama by Agamemnon. In this very drama, you will get that Agamemnon has been killed by his own wife. Now the daughter, in order to take his own father's revenge, killed his own mother. So from this we are getting Electra complex and Oedipus complex. Okay, we are very much yes. Within 20 minutes I have tried to complete it. But I was very much hurry because you will go in your house. Thank you everyone. After probably in New Year we will meet again. But one advice to you, that as you have taken English honors, try to be regular in our classes. Okay, because try to learn. Catastrophe or denouement, climax, exposition, rising, climax, prolongation and catastrophe or denouement or dynamo. D-E-N-O-U-E-M-E-N-T. This denouement in the case of comedy. Comedy also 5 acts, but in the case of everything is the same. But in the case of last point, this will be denouement. But in the case of tragedy, this will be catastrophe. A kind of appalling situation which the protagonist can't avoid. Clear everyone? Which the protagonist can't avoid. This is called nemesis. A kind of unavoidable punishment. A kind of catastrophic punishment. A kind of appalling punishment which the protagonist can't avoid in his life. As a result, he is compelled to surrender, he is compelled to yield himself. So all this point you have to write. Clear everyone? Thank you.